Hello friends, welcome to my channel Together with Abhi. Today we are going to start with a completely new module called as EC2. EC2 is a very significant service and it happens to be one of the primary services launched by AWS when it started its cloud operations. So let's see what we have in EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. What it means is you will be provided with a computational power. In essence, you will have a computer, a machine, a virtual server to yourself, and it would be resizable. You can use it with the kind of computation, with the kind of processor, memory, the way you want it, and it will be available in the cloud. So in a sense, there will be a virtual server and it is going to be called an instance in terms of AWS. So you will get to see this at various UI. So you will see something like running instances, you will see launch instance. So if you go to EC2 service, it will say launch instance. What it means, do you want to launch a new virtual server, a new virtual machine or not? Okay. Now how it's going to be priced? The pricing is going to be charged per hour while the instance is running. What it means is till the time you are using the machine, you are going to pay it. As soon as you stop it, you are not going to be charged for it. So it is as simple as that. However, there are different pricing models which we are going to discuss later. Now let's see, if in case you tomorrow go, I know you go and buy a computer, if you have to go and buy a computer, what you will do is you will be presented with a sample configuration. You will be presented with something like this. It will talk about processor, operating system, memory, storage, and things like that. So what does it actually mean? So if we see, the processor talks about the computer or the actual processing unit that it has, and it is a hardware component. So we are going to categorize everything as hardware or software. Operating system falls into a software category. It will tell you whether you are going to have Mac, Linux, Windows, all these things. Memory, the primary memory, which is going to be RAM, it is going to come under hardware. Storage, which is also important for you even from the virtual machine point of view. It is important what kind of storage, disk, is it SSD or something you are using, so it is going to matter to you. Monitor or display something which is not going to matter to you, because anyways it is a virtual machine, you are not going to have a physical machine. So whether it be a small monitor, big monitor, it hardly matters to you. But network adapter is certainly going to be a significant thing, because it determines what kind of network performance you are going to have, okay, which again falls into hardware category. And there could be certain additional applications within this computer. So let's say if you buy a Microsoft computer with a Microsoft operating system, it comes pre-installed with certain kind of licensed products like Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office. So these are the components that form the software part of it, and the top ones are mentioned as the hardware part of it. Now for in terms of AWS, the way we mention the hardware type is called as the instance type, okay. And AMI, which stands for Amazon Machine Image, it represents the software part of any computer, okay. So whenever we have to go and buy or launch an instance, if we have to get a virtual machine, we are going to ask AWS to let us choose on based of instance type, which will determine the hardware part, and Amazon machine image, which is going to determine the software part. So instance type, now again these instance types have been categorized into certain families based on the kind of need that you have. So what AWS saw, you probably might have certain needs, specific needs. You might be doing operations which require more computation power. So what it did was it created a family of hardware called as compute optimized. So it has pre-configured certain kind of configuration it already has uh, according to its experience, that it has mentioned as compute optimized. Similarly for memory, memory optimized, storage optimized, and GPU based is for graphical usage, wherein you have a very high graphical usage, let's say some kind of animations or video games. So it has already created certain families which will help you make your decision easier. And within each family, you have been provided an instance type. Okay, so general purposes, something like A1 medium, A1 large, A1 X large, 2X large, 4X large. Similarly, compute optimized, memory, storage, and GPU. Okay, Now what these stand for is A1 medium tells you the kind of CPUs in memory it is going to have. Medium will might have just one CPU and 2 GB of memory, but you see the next instance type, large one, it is going to be a multiple of something. Okay, so let's say it is twice. Again, it is going to be a linear relationship. Twice again, twice again. So this is very important because your money also matters, or it is defined in a linear fashion. Okay, so if in case you are paying like 10 euros for A1 medium, you are going to pay 20 euros for A1 large. So the more or less it is having the same multiples. Okay, so important to note the linear relationship. So what it says in essence is, tomorrow if in case I have to get a computer or a virtual machine on AWS, if I have to launch an instance, I will just see what my specific needs are. If my needs are memory centric, I'm going to go for a family which is memory optimized, and within that I'm going to choose the instance type based on the CPU and memory and the money obviously that you are going to pay. Now the second thing of hardware that we left out is the networking, which is left out. So the networking is whether you want a low networking speed, moderate, or a high. So they have just given you three categories, and on top of that there is an enhanced networking which is only provided for very limited families and instance types. Okay, but is going to provide you more packets per second, lower latency, and less jitter. Now let's come over to the software part. Now, as we had told you, software is configured using AMIs. These are the images of the software. Okay, let's say you have 3 software, we create an image 1. You have 4 software, we create an image 2. So you can directly, if in case you are in need of those 4 software, you will just use image 2 and it will be configured on the hardware that you have chosen as part of instance type option. Okay, but who are going to provide you AMI? So these AMIs can be provided to you by AWS, or AWS has already tied up with a lot of partners and it has provided a portal called as Marketplace. It is just a website, a marketplace, and there many publishers, many vendors have already published the software that they want to sell. So you can go and you can buy. Okay, the good part about AWS Marketplace is its license is already pre-configured in the manner that you can directly use it because it is suitable for use within cloud. Okay, now generated from existing instances, this is important. So what it says is, you have a machine that you bought as an EC2 instance in AWS. You configured it the way you want it. You configured certain applications on top of it, and now you want that there would be many machines that would be the exact replica of what you have already generated. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do is you are going to generate an AMI from this instance with all the relevant software that you need, and using this AMI you are going to generate many other replicas or instances. Okay, so this is generated from existing instances, but however, if in case you have your on premises machine which you want to import or export within AWS, that option is also available using AMIs with an option of VM import export. The thing I was talking about AWS Marketplace, one point to note is it also, you have to pay an additional price for an additional software which will be charged per hour. So we can go and take a look at the marketplace quickly as to how it looks. So friends, this is the website where you have come, which this talks about AWS Marketplace. Here you can just search, let's say CentOS. I just searched it, and within that CentOS 7, let's say. So you see it provides you different vendors, CentOS org, okay, or it could be anything. It could be by AWS also that you can see here. Okay, so if in case you click any of these, you can get the entire information about the product, what kind of version, what is the pricing information based on the kind of EC2 instance type that you are going to use. Okay, and how do you need to use it is also provided in the usage instruction, okay, with the license. So it is quite simple, and many images are already available here which you can directly use. Okay, so now before we move on to demo, I just wanted to show you how the demo would look like. Okay, so we are going to launch an instance. It will ask you for the AMI. Okay, there are multiple options for you to buy AMI from. One is my AMIs, which I have already created, Marketplace, or a few which are already provided by Amazon. Okay, so we select any of these. That is going to ask us for the instance type. So as I mentioned, it is going to tell you the family. So you can directly choose the kind of family based on your need, and within that the kind of instance type you need. Okay, it also tells you about the network performance, whether you need low, moderate or high. Okay, we are going to discuss about EBS and EBS optimized available. These are the options for volumes, and we are going to discuss them later. But for now, what you just need to concentrate upon is instance type and AMI. Okay. Now there would be additional configurations that it might ask for, like these are the options we would need to discuss. We will just go with the default setting in the demo first, and then we will keep on working on the multiple parameters like enable termination protection, monitoring, tenancy. Then on the next screen, it will ask you for the kind of volume you want to use, volume type. So we are going to discuss on the volume types and the security group. The security group is a very important security feature per instance which is available. So we are going to discuss that as well. Also, once you have your instance launched, how are you going to connect to it? So for Linux, it is going to be SSH. For Windows, it is going to be an RDP session. And there are going to be certain usernames that are to be provided to connect to them. So if in case you have a machine like Red Hat Linux, if in case you have used a Red Hat Linux machine, the username which is going to be root. So this information is somewhere hidden in the AWS documentation. So I've just provided you here for your easy reference. And once we have launched the instance, what we are going to do is we are going to hit this URL. This is a very specific URL. If in case you are going to hit this URL, you are going to get the entire metadata of an instance. What metadata stands for? It is data about an instance, like information on security groups, tags, and many other information that you can make use of using programmatic access or otherwise. Okay. So with all this information, I believe we have enough information to get started. Mainly, I wanted to configure or uh, make this information available to you on AMI and instance type, and I hope it is clear with you. So let's get started and see you in the demo. In the demo, we are going to keep on covering many concepts as well, the way we have to discuss. And with that, let's get started. Thank you. Thanks for